One of my very first memories is driving around in my mom's little VW Bug, and it was so old and it was so rusty, and someone must have given it to her or something. And I used to sit in the back, no seat belts, it was the 80s, and I would be on the floor, and there were all these holes in the floor, and I could see the ground below us, and I would drop little things down through the holes in the floor, and I remember thinking that they were going to like other worlds. Um, Yeah, that's right. That's right. Um, my mom was an artist, is an artist. She's still with me. And she made her living selling homemade quilts and beautiful pieces of art at the beach show, which happens every Sunday. It still happens to this day here. And I would just sleep in our little VW Bug. It was silver, it had a big red star on the door, and it was a place where I really felt safe. I never really knew that we were homeless. I never really felt scared that I remember because I had my mom with me. So this is me, and I think I'm like 4 years old in this picture, and that was our home. I mean, we stayed with friends sometimes too, my mom's friends, but for the most part it was just me and my mom in this little VW Bug. And when it finally broke down and we went to go live with one of my mom's boyfriends for a little while, I was so sad that they actually tore the door, this door with the red star, they tore it off the VW Bug and let me keep it in my closet. So yeah, my mom's a seamstress, so she made me that dress. And yeah, but like I said, I kind of just remember being really happy. It was just me and my mom kind of against the world. So that was our little VW Bug, but it was a piece of junk. But it was our piece of junk. You know, in Santa Barbara, I think you have so many people that are really, really, really wealthy, and then you have so many people that are really poor. And I remember the first time that sort of hit me, that maybe we were part of this like lower class, or well, of course I didn't know what to call it at that time, but we were staying with some friends of my mom's when I was about 3 or 4 years old, and there was a little girl who lived next door, but she lived next door, like it was her parents' house, and we'd play together. And I just remember us being told that we were going to have to leave and not stay in that place anymore. And I don't know if my mom broke up with her boyfriend or what, but I remember being really sad that, you know, we didn't have a place to call our own. And I remember feeling the unfairness that this other little girl, who was basically exactly the same as me, was going to go back to her big fairy tale house, and we were going to have to go somewhere uncertain. I think that probably we were in a lot of really dangerous situations from time to time, but I was really sheltered by my mom and really protected by her. She's pretty fierce. There was one time, it's just a vague kind of shadowy memory, but I was exploring the house that we were staying in. It was some friends of hers that she didn't know very well, and all I really remember is it was really, really, really dark, and I was kind of creeping around the house like little kids will, and I opened a closet, and all of a sudden my mom was behind me, and she was just shrieking, and she grabbed me and ran me through the house, and we left that night. And a lot later on I found out that I'd found the inhabitants of the house, I'd found their stash of guns, and I was just kind of standing in front of this, basically a closet full of guns, and kind of reaching out to see what they were, because I was a really curious kid. And again, my mom just kind of protected me from that. So I always knew I was meant to be an artist. I remember being so tiny and just knowing, you know, in my mind that I wanted to wind up doing art for a living. And eventually I discovered scenic art. In the theater, the designer will give this to the director, and it'll be a model of what the set is that they've imagined for that particular production. And so then the guys in the shop where I work, they build all these big set pieces, and then I come in and it's my job to make them look like this. So I have to paint, this circus tent. I have to create the texture for the floor. It's really amazing, and it's my passion, and it's really exciting because it's always different, which I totally love. So from play to play, I get a whole new experience. And it's really fun to make these tiny, tiny things become huge. And yeah, I like it because I work all by myself, sometimes overnight, and I get to just listen to podcasts or music or books on tape and just be in my own little art world. I also do my own paintings, my own work in my whatever you can call it spare time, although I don't really feel like I have any because I'm an artist with 2 kids. But my favorite painting that I ever did is this one right here. It's called Watchdog. And I've always painted, but I always was kind of looking for my voice and really trying to figure out what I wanted to say with painting. And I remember I was painting this really late one night, and I had gotten divorced from my first husband, and I was really scared. And I found myself a single mom, just like my mom was. And I kind of felt like history was repeating itself in not a very great way. And I sat down and did this painting, and I painted it just with all my heart. And when it came out, I was so happy with it, and I've had a lot of people want to buy it. I've made a lot of prints of it, but I've never wanted to sell it because to me it's just who I am. So basically we have the kind of the duality of woman here, and there's the fragile, wild side that is protecting and being protected by the side of ourselves that we show to other people. And I don't know if that sounds pretentious, but that's definitely what the intention was with that painting. But it was something I kind of realized as I was doing it, and after it was finished, I went, oh, that's what that's about. So anyway, it's right here. It's always kind of a place of prominence in my house. Kind of reminds me why I'm doing what I'm doing.